Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the sound system demo of the 2021 Toyota Sienna and its 12-speaker, 1200 watt JBL audio system. It's going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, all the audio inputs, speaker locations, get out on the road, listen to some sample tracks, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Before we get started, pop out to a quick look at the van. This is redone model for 2021, the very sharp looking 2021 Toyota Sienna. And by sharp, I mean it's got a lot of aggressive lines. I don't know if it's necessarily what I'd call attractive, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and it's also a minivan, so what can you expect? Now, we always do these tests with uncompressed, lossless WAV audio files on a USB drive plugged directly into the audio system, and high-quality binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo here on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set at their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. In the Sienna, you got treble, mid-range, and bass, as well as your standard front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. On top of that, you have an automatic sound levelizer, kind of tries to blend out your music a little bit more evenly, as well as you get higher speeds, it'll sort of make the sound a little bit louder. And then a surround sound function. Just go through and toggle that on and off right now, see if you can notice a difference. So it just adds for a little bit more forward sound, a little bit more artificial sounding in surround mode. So we'll leave that on for a little bit, turn it off later on in the test. Let's go through and demo the treble, mid-range, and bass. For audio inputs in the Sienna, you've got your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio, Bluetooth, USB-A with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, and that is it. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, you don't have any sort of 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, you also don't have a disc player, and you don't have any USB-C inputs. You do have USB-C chargers, but no USB-C data inputs. So not the end of the world here in 2020, but it would be nice to see some of those more high fidelity options. For sound controls, you've got a volume knob right here, easy to reach, easy to turn. Toyota doesn't do clicks, it's all just a smooth turn. I don't like that, but I guess it's not the end of the world. You also have volume here on the steering wheel. That's not what I want, come on, gotta wait for the screen to load. Not the best touchscreen in my eyes. It's a little bit laggier, especially at this price point. I also don't like the contrast of the colors. I think it's not laid out super well, and it just doesn't inspire an ease of use like some other systems do. The resolution's a little poor. It's just very basic. For track selection, you've got this tune knob. You can also use the touchscreen, and you have track selection on the steering wheel. Speaker locations. This is a 12-speaker system, upgradable. So you've got one down here in the door, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's actually turn this up so we can do some rear audio testing. The back, you've got 8, 9 in the second doors. Get way in the back, close this. You have 10, 11, and then 12 actually in the rear lift gate. You got a subwoofer. Let's listen from the third row for a minute. So pretty simple sound. You can hear them coming right from next to you and behind you. Not exactly an audiophile's experience. Moving up to the second row. These seats are kind of a pain to move unless you're outside the vehicle. There we are. Actually fairly decent sound from back here, pretty well balanced, but I will say that it's quieter in the second and third row than it is up in the front. That can be a little frustrating as a driver if your kids are asking you to turn the music up back here and it's much louder for you. So that should be pretty easily fixable by just adjusting the fader to the rear. Much fuller, richer sound up in the front. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto demo. Now to do this, we are going to have to remove our USB drive powering these songs, so it's going to go quiet. Let's take that out. And then let's plug in iPhone. Now this is going to be the first time I've plugged it in, so we'll get to see the whole setup process. Okay, it seemed to have loaded itself up. Does it automatically go to CarPlay? It does not, so let's go Home, Apple CarPlay, and there we are. Got our maps, music function. It's a really big display. I like that a lot. It's a bit of a bummer. Some of the other cars you can still see some of your vital information on the sides, but overall seems to look pretty decent. Let's go to the settings. Resolution's definitely a bit lower than other vehicles. You can really see that with CarPlay because CarPlay looks really crisp on nicer screens. But the size is nice and seems to be pretty responsive. Okay, swap over to Android Auto. This is also going to be the first time plugging this device in to this vehicle. Android Auto on. Next. And there we are. That's up. You can see you got your Google Maps. Map settings, go home. You've got Android Auto settings there. You can go on YouTube Music. Fairly simple. And you can go right to the Toyota Home, go back to that screen. Okay, let's get the music going again and get on the road. Freaking out. What's wrong? Oh. Oh my gosh, that's annoying. It's felt my bag on the seat and thought there was somebody sitting there. I was mad about it. Anyway. Another thing to note with Toyota infotainment systems is they don't organize your USB songs by alphabet. They organize them, I think, in the way that they're set there in like a Windows browser, if you will. So these songs are always organized differently than in my other cars. Now this next song really sends a lot of different sounds and instruments and noise at the audio system. Really tests the limits on what it can handle and how crisp it can be. So let's go to that now. Of a hollow sound, and that's what I've noticed with a lot of heavier tracks in the system, and even some of the simpler ones. The mid-range is a little broad. You can help that a little bit by bringing it down in the settings, but it's still just a little bit of a I don't know the best way to describe it. It just sounds kind of hollow. Let's actually turn off the sound levelizer and surround and restart the sound. That a little bit better. I think it's a little more natural sounding, a little bit more crisp, I want to say, but still it's moderate to good. There's an edge, there's a power to the song that I'm not really getting that I get in some higher end systems, but it's also not abrasive or too harsh on my ears. So middle to middle high range. For this next one, we're going to turn the bass all the way up and see how the JBL and the Sienna handles it. coming through really nice. Got mirror shakeage on both mirrors. I can feel it in my seat. I'm actually pretty impressed. I think Toyota did a good job with that. Wrapping up my thoughts on the 12-speaker JBL system here in the Toyota Sienna. It's pretty decent. It's definitely not a bad system, and when you consider the cost of this vehicle, at this one's about $45,000. Kind of look at it against its competition. It's still better than the Odyssey. It's better than the Pacifica's Alpine system. I don't quite think it's better than the Harman Kardon in the Pacifica. I think that holds a slight edge. So objectively speaking, on sound quality and general ease of use of the system, everything like that, inputs, I'm putting this about a 6.5 to 7 range. Certain songs, it sounds pretty darn good. If you like sort of that more artificial surround sound setting, that can sound good with some music. But it's really not getting to the true essence and crispness and genuineness of the higher quality tracks. Subjectively speaking, the minivan class at $45,000, I think this is a fairly alright system. It'd be nice to see a few more inputs, both data inputs and high quality audio inputs. I do appreciate that Toyota now has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support, but the screen is just not quite as easy to use and nice looking as some of the competition. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you got a good impression for the system. Oh, sorry, subjectively speaking, rating about a 6.5. If you liked the video, hit that subscribe button, check out our other Sienna content, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.